Hi, this is Angelina Asante. Welcome to this episode of Southwest Florida Online News and my review of the new Monk movie, Mr. Monk's Last Case, airing only on Peacock. I'm taking a departure from my regular no-spoiler movie review, so if you don't want spoilers about this movie, turn this episode off now. Mr. Monk and cast reunite when a murder personally affects America's greatest living, although retired, Detective Adrian Monk. I should have known something was off at the beginning of the film when the PG rating came with not only a language and violence warning, but a suicide warning as well. I wish the murder victim of this movie was the actual movie. The idea of recreating the magic of this iconic show, which was both masterful in crime storytelling and comedy, seemed like a great idea, but the execution fell very far from the magic of the original series. First, I have to be honest, I never liked the Natalie character who came as a replacement for Sherona. And when I saw Sherona in the opening scene, I texted my friend because I thought, finally, the show's going to give fans what they want, Sherona. But that was short-lived when I realized they were just repeating the opening scene to the very first episode of the show. The next thing true fans of the series will realize is Monk's book agent in the movie is the angry flight attendant in Season 1, Episode 12, Mr. Monk in the Airplane. Aside from the drawn-out banter between the two, we're supposed to believe the publishing company asked for their advance on his book 10 years after they gave him a deal because he hasn't been able to write the book yet. Let's move beyond that unbelievable part. And immediately, when he leaves his agent's office, he decides to commit suicide. So he looks out a high-rise building against a window and looks to the ground. If you know the Monk character, he would never get that close to a window, and he actually opens the window until Trudy, for those of you who don't know, Trudy is Monk's late wife, who often appeared to him in episodes, comes to stop him. The relationship with Trudy's daughter is sweet, but the writers forgot who Monk is when he has to investigate a murder and just walks on a tall bridge several stories high without acknowledging his fear of heights. Other times the writers forget Monk are when he rolls around on grass and then he climbs on a rocket ship platform, again, forgetting his fear of getting dirty and heights. I can forgive those things. What I can't forgive is the absolute omission of comedy. I scanned the reviews of this movie after I watched it and kept seeing comedy gold and lighthearted coming up as the same tired description from reviewers. I don't know what movie they're watching. I promise you this is not it. I feel like people are so tired of what is considered comedy and entertainment, they're embracing this inferior storytelling. I wondered if this was written during the writer's strike and absent of the writers who actually knew these characters. And I don't think suicide is lighthearted. I didn't understand why Randy and Natalie even showed up in this movie. It didn't make sense. The fact Monk's stepdaughter was not grieving the whole time, but smiling and trying to add levity after her fiancé was murdered didn't make sense either. Even worse was the suicide storyline woven throughout the whole movie, right till the end when Trudy appears again when Monk has 50 pills laid out in front of him to swallow. The writers could have made the bad guy unlike Jeff Bezos, but they decided to make him exactly like him by saying he owns the largest home delivery retail business, shipping partner, and he's the first private citizen to ever orbit the Earth in his own rocket. We get it. What I don't get is resurrecting this flawless show to this mediocrity. This is not the time where we need a story about a great character wanting to take his own life. Frankly, we never need a movie like that. This movie feels like an afterthought and is a massive disappointment, much like the new Frasier reboot. Hollywood is dead and fresh out of ideas. Too bad. I wish I had never watched this movie so I could have remembered Monk the way he was. Perfect. This is Angelina Asante with this episode of Southwest Florida Online News.